But don't look in your rearview mirror, here comes number 8. He's a rocker and a roller, and he shows us how to shut him down. I guess he runs independent until my dad is back in town. Yeah, I guess he runs independent until my dad is back in town. Bad boy, stand on it, son.
And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that when Dover International Speedway first opened, it was actually meant to be for a car racing track and a horse racing track? Horse racing and car racing started back in 1969. Nice. But anyways, guys, welcome to the Nasboys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Mike Pop Fam 101. With my good friends Christian, aka Savage NASCAR.
What's up?
Cam, aka I Spy Cam.
Howdy, y'all.
And Josiah, aka Josiah _ Calhoun.
Hi. Hello.
So let's get down to our usual podcast business here. Recapping the weekend at Kansas, Darlington, excuse me. Starting out with the truck race. I thought it was a pretty solid race. There was that big crash at the end. What did you guys think of it?
I thought it was a good race. I thought that it was, I don't know if it was better than an Xfinity race this time, but it was pretty entertaining. It was pretty cool to see Sheldon Creed win again, and I really enjoyed that paint scheme, so it was really cool to see that go to victory lane. I mean, it was a pretty solid race. There was a couple of crashes there, especially at the end, and it seems like, with the truck series, we always keep getting a lot of these wrecks towards the end of the race. We had that big one there going into turn 1 where people just didn't know how to drive. But other than that, I thought it was a good race. What about y'all?
I thought it was a good race. Thought that it was actually kind of quite action packed to me. Honestly, I mean, I thought there was a lot. Like, I wasn't really bored. I thought that race was insane, but really there was some tough racing, hard racing. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a pretty good race. I mostly more watched towards the end, but yeah, I noticed there was a lot of wrecking at the end, so that was just a little bit annoying. But yeah, overall a pretty good race.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was an all right race. There was solid racing going on. Creed winning was pretty cool, especially in that Jason Leffler tribute scheme. That crash at the end, though, was wild. I didn't expect that to happen. And, with all the other crashes towards the end, I feel like that's been a trend with the truck series a lot because we have been seeing that really recently where there's at least 5 to 6 crashes towards the end of the race. But it was a solid race, I would say. And here's what you guys had to say about it. 4 of you said great, 8 of you said good, 2 of you said meh / okay, and 1 of you said bad. Here are the thoughts. Stuff.Jonas said NASCAR was more focused on entertainment, as always. Okay.
That's a good point.
I mean, I both agree and disagree with his point. I agree that NASCAR does focus a little more on the entertainment than with the actual racing. But if you think about it with this instance, I'll give them a pass here. You could see the speedy, quick dry, whatever that stuff is when there's oil on the track. You could see it still flying up. So I understand why they had that long red flag towards the end of the race. So I'm not really sure if this one was more of them focused on being more about entertainment, but I can somewhat agree with his point. Like we saw with a couple weeks ago with Chris Buescher at Kansas, how they messed him up and then they had an OT restart. So yeah. Henry 24257 says big wreck. Ben Danush __ says TRD didn't win. Yes. And the driver of the day, there's not really one set one. We did get a vote for Corey Heim. Carson Hoskovar and Sheldon Creed. I might have to go with Corey. He never ran a truck race before, I don't think, and even if he did, he was not the best. But he worked his butt off to really understand Darlington, and he performed very well in the 51 truck. So I gotta give it for performance wise. I gotta give it to Corey, but for like dominant wise, Sheldon. But overall, Corey.
I have to agree.
I'm
I have to
giving
agree with you on this.
Oh, you go.
I just went.
Oh, okay. See, it cut out. Sorry. Yeah, I had to go into Sheldon too. I thought that he was, dominant, which, to me, I think that like when you show kind of like, you're kind of dominant in the race, to me, that goes driver of the day worthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree and say Sheldon.
Now let's move on to the Xfinity race. That racing was not much better, but it was better than the truck race in my opinion. My favorite driver in the Xfinity series, Justin Allgaier, won again. Comeback season starts now for him. What did you guys think of it?
Really cool to see Justin win. He's one of my favorite drivers in NASCAR. I've met him before. It's really cool to see him go back to victory lane. He's having a great season so far, and it'd be really cool to see him do one of the playoffs. There was a couple moments, where drivers were just doing stuff like in the truck race, just running all over the place. But, I thought it was a lot of great racing. It wasn't a bad race at all, but it wasn't like very, very entertaining. There was some crashes in it, but, beside the crashes, I thought it was a pretty solid race. The Noah Gragson, penalty, that was unfortunate. Not really a huge Gragson fan, but, as a Chevy fan, it's kind of unfortunate. But at the same time, he lost out a lot of money because of that. He was part of the Dash for Cash thing that NASCAR does. So he lost out on the bills or the checks right there.
Sorry to interrupt, but they appealed it today and they won. And I believe
they did? I didn't know that.
And I believe they got the bonus back.
Wow. So, man, I mean, that's a W for them then. I had no idea that happened. I haven't really been able to check the news today. So thanks for informing us.
Yeah. I was pretty impressed with Justin. I mean, it's always good to see him up there, in victory lane because I like Justin, man. Justin, he's a cool dude. He deserves it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I actually missed the Xfinity race. I think I just forgot that it was going on, but I can say that I like Justin Allgaier, and it's pretty cool that he won, especially in that nice Dale Earnhardt throwback. That was pretty cool to see that car in victory lane.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't expecting him to win. I was expecting Noah Gragson to win, but that was definitely a nice treat for me, especially that I wasn't really having the best day that day, and that really made my day. So thank you, Justin. But yeah, I thought the race was pretty solid. Like I said, basically what you would expect from the Xfinity series always brings good, solid racing, and I've been really looking forward to watching the Xfinity races recently. Something I was gonna say. Nah. Yeah, it was a great race, and oh yeah, this is what I wanted to say. And you guys were talking about how you guys agreed that Justin is a cool dude. I met him after the Dover race one time. It was when they did. It was like raining one day, so they did like 2 races in one day. And I was walking along pit road, and I saw him come out of his car, and he was in his fire suit. And I knew he was a driver, but I didn't watch the Xfinity series as regularly as I do. So I didn't know it was him. And I honestly, call me stupid for this, but I thought it was Regan Smith at first. And I walked up to him and I was like, hey, because I wasn't sure who it was. So I just said, hey, can I have your autograph? And he signed it. And I looked closer at his face, and it was Justin Allgaier. And he took a picture with me. So here's that picture. But yeah, Justin's just such a nice dude. And, from him, like getting out of his car and just being such a genuine, nice person, and even like watching his interviews that he does, like after races, and he's just such a class act. I really respect Justin Allgaier, and I'll keep rooting for him for as long as he stays in that JRM number 7, no doubt.
Yeah, he's one of the nicest drivers in the NASCAR circuit. I mean, he's
Definitely.
such a nice person, like you said. I remember when I met him, if I'm correct, it was 2013 or 2014 that I met him at Martinsville. It was like a fan, sort of like a fan interview question thing. It was before the race, like early in the morning or something. And I remember meeting him. It was when he was driving a 51 car full time in Cup. And that same day, I also met Kevin Harvick, Austin Dillon, and Danica Patrick. But out of all of them, Justin was definitely the nicest, and he spent more time with the fans.
Comment down below if you guys want us to do nicest and rudest NASCAR drivers list.
Dude,
in our opinions. So let's take a look at the Xfinity Series thoughts. One of you said great. 10 of you said good. None of you said meh/okay, and none of you said bad. And the driver of the day, no one really picked the driver of the day, so think of this. Maybe, Noah Gragson. I'm going to go Noah Gragson, just with how dominant he was.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick for driver of the day. I think the driver of the day should be him as well because they won the appeal.
Yep, I also agree that Noah Gragson definitely should have it. He had a really good race today. I'm not even a huge Noah Gragson fan, but like I said, I come here always unbiased. But I thought, yeah, he had a pretty good race today. Well, that day.
Josiah?
Oh yeah. I guess since I didn't watch the race, I'll say Noah Gragson just because of what I've heard.
Oh yeah. Now the Cup race. Some may argue that it was terrible. Some may argue that it was good. I personally thought it was pretty good besides Truex. What do you guys think?
I have to agree with you on that. I'm not a huge Truex fan, as I've mentioned before in other episodes. The race, I felt got off to a pretty good start, I'm saying, entertainment-wise. But, as we predicted in the last episode, Ricky Stenhouse was going to take someone out, like Cam mentioned. And, we mentioned also, me and Cam talked about Eric Almirola. And sure enough, Eric Almirola gets wrecked. So that was a very disappointing moment. But, the race I thought was pretty solid in the first 100 laps or so. I feel like as the race went along, honestly, I thought it kind of got less entertaining. And, I was hoping Carl Larson would catch Truex, but he wasn't able to. There were some drivers that did really good, like Tyler Reddick. He did really good for most of the race and then kind of faded. Harvick did really good and then he faded. Keselowski, I thought, what Josiah's pick was with Keselowski. Keselowski was running really good, and all of a sudden he just dropped back all of a sudden. So
Yeah,
it was a fuel mileage race, a lot of cars went a lap down, which is what was pretty common back in the day at Darlington back in the 90s. So it kind of gave that a little bit of a throwback vibe. And I thought there was a lot of really cool paint schemes out there, on the track. It was really cool to see. I felt like the race wasn't great, but it was kind of like an average race. It'd be something like a 6 or it'd be something like a 5.5 out of 10 rating. So what about you, Cam?
See, kind of like what Savage said, just imagine a waterfall. So, when you turn it off, it still drips, right? Well, the beginning, it was dripping, right? But near the end, it started drying up and the really left was even coming out, and then it just stopped. The race slowly just got boring and less interesting. Of course, Truex, we don't have to really mention anything about it, but, everybody knows. And, it was okay. 4.5. I thought it was all right, but it just slowed down. I'd rather have a race that starts slow and it ends up being really good.
Yeah. If you asked me this question right after the race, I probably would have said that it's the worst race of the season because I was really bored the whole way through. But that's just me. I've never fallen asleep watching a race, but I was pretty close to falling asleep this race. But yeah, also I might have been a little salty because Truex won, and yeah, I just don't like Truex. So yeah, I'll just give. I'd say it's a below average race. Oh, now that I think about it, I'm definitely salty because Brad, my favorite driver right now, I don't even know what happened. He was doing good, and then
He
I don't know. I
dropped.
think yeah, he dropped like a rock. Just fell right down.
And
Yeah,
another
sorry.
thing, like I predicted that Joe Gibbs Racing would do good in this race, and they unfortunately did. And Kyle Busch, when he wrecked early, I thought he was out. I thought he was gonna be done. I was like, "Yay, Kyle Busch isn't gonna be somebody who's gonna be up there for most of the race." But he came back, and I'm like, "Ugh," you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, like why is he back in the top 5? He just came out of nowhere. But yeah,
Well, there's a reason why Kyle Busch is in the top 5. He's KFB. Don't count him out.
facts.
That's right. You don't
Yeah.
even have to be a Cowboys fan to say that.
I'm starting to not mind Kyle Busch. I'm gonna be honest. I don't mind him. He seems like he's a decent guy. He races really good. I don't mind him. But my thoughts on the race were it was okay. There was good racing. We did see side by side racing. We did see a lot of wrecks. Well, not a lot of wrecks, but we did see quite a few wrecks. So besides Truex, I thought Larson was going to catch him, but he pulled in Atlanta and used up his stuff again. But I thought it was a pretty solid race besides Truex leading by over like 5 seconds and then Larson catching him up, which props to Larson for catching him. Since you guys gave it a rating, I'll give it like a 6.5 out of 10. But yeah, let's take a look at you guys' thoughts here. One of you said great, 8 of you said good, 7 of you said meh/okay, and 2 of you said bad. Shazan Rana, 24 something. I can't see his whole name because of the Instagram text. He said, yeah, him. He made the intro again, so shout out to him. If I can find what he said, hold on. Actually, I'll go. Here we go. He says on his story, this race was honestly good. If it weren't for Darlington's vicious tire wear, that battle for the win would have been great. Larson used up his tires, reeling Truex in. Sure, the battle for the lead wasn't great all race, but the battles throughout the field were awesome. Decent race, in my opinion. So, in my solid 6 out of 10. So, basically, we feel the same way. Underscore Carlos underscore says the package got better racing and they were slipping and sliding. Yeah, I noticed that a lot too. A lot of cars got loose, but Darlington's more of a slicker track, so that's to be expected. But I did enjoy watching that. Henry 24257 says no passing. Okay, but there were a lot of battles, so I'm not sure which race you were watching there, buddy.
Henry, what was that?
And Tomboy Racing says, small spoiler. So now let's get into going back into reviewing the paint schemes because we did not get through all of the throwbacks, and I don't think we'll still get through all the throwbacks, but we'll try to get through most of the notable ones. So
one thing I just want to bring up, sorry to interrupt you, Mike. One thing I just want to bring up, there isn't a lot of NASCAR news this week, which is kind of rare. But one thing I did find, Kyle Tilley, he won the Rolex 24 this year. He's also a Le Mans Series Pro-Am champion. He's actually making his Cup debut in the Circuit of Americas in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
So I thought
That's cool. I didn't know that.
One thing I want to bring up as well, I forgot to mention this, is NASCAR being more like into like documentaries. Like apparently there's going to be a documentary about 23XI, and I know that this is not NASCAR per se, but there is a show on Overtime called Race, following the life of late model driver Hayden Swank. So, what's you guys' thoughts on the new NASCAR racing documentaries?
It's really cool to see because they used to do a lot of those back in the 2000s and even in the 90s. And I think it's really cool to bringing that back. It's also giving more exposure to drivers that people don't really know a lot about. And it's given them more of an opportunity to kind of share their stories and how they feel about the racing. And I mean, it's kind of, bringing a lot of I guess, exposure to a lot of the young drivers that are coming up in series and in different divisions and everything. So, yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think
I like it. I mean, like, I thought it's like actually a really cool idea. I mean, like, now let's just say you're a beginner to NASCAR, right? And you don't know much about it. I think this series would be, like this, this little series that's going to go happen. I think this would be great for beginners like this because they kind of get to know the driver and see their personality, see what they have accomplished, and they kind of can build up a little bit of a wall. You know what I mean? To start up, so they can know which driver to like, and also kind of like a hey, welcome to NASCAR. Right now, for fans that have already been in for a long time, I like it because you can also kind of have like a one-on-one connection with the driver. You get to hear some crazy stories, so and you kind of get like an inside POV of what they deal with. So it's pretty cool.
Actually,
Actually, can you guys hear me very well?
I can hear you.
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, because I just didn't know if my audio was a little off or not, or like if you guys can't hear me that well. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool that they're making these documentaries. I think the 2311 documentary, I think that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for it. I think I would have liked it more if they did like just overall a NASCAR documentary, but yeah, it's still pretty cool. And then I don't know much about the like other documentary you were mentioning.
It's more like a reality show on this place called Overtime. They usually do like basketball and football content, but they're doing more racing content, which is very cool. But yeah, I think that this is really cool that they're trying to get more people around like our ages, for example, into NASCAR, because I feel like NASCAR should get more of these people in there, but they also need to find a happy medium where they need to figure out the racing. But that's another opinion for another day. But I definitely support these two ventures into talking about racing, and I'll definitely be on the lookout for the 23XI one. I might watch it, and the race one I am watching, and it is pretty interesting. I have a lot of respect for Hayden, so definitely will pay more attention to him. Sorry about that. I had to mute it. Sorry. So now let's get into talking about the schemes. We're going to start out with Kevin Harvick's one. This one is to 2001.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They did a really good job with this one. Once again, we're going to do like what we did last time and just rate it by team and give it a rating, not like a full-on review. So this will count for SHR's grade. I really like it. I'll give Kevin Harvick's a 9, and I'll still give SHR whatever grade I gave him. I think like a B or something like that.
This Harvick seems definitely a 9 in my opinion. Really cool to see what they did with that. I'm surprised that they decided to announce it that late, but it is what it is. They revealed it on that Saturday. But yeah, it's pretty lit.
I like it.
That is a pretty. It's actually really cool. I think it's definitely. I'll give it definitely get a 9 out of 10. It's probably gonna be one of my like must-have diecasts for 2021.
I like it. It's not bad. I mean, okay, I might sound like a hater here, all right? It's okay. Like, I know it might sound bad of me to say, but it's all right. I give it like a 7 out of 10.
Next scheme is Roush Fenway's. They did not do that good of a job on throwbacks last year, or this year, excuse me. God, I can't talk. The first one is Ryan Newman's kosher generators. I'm not exactly sure what this one is throwing back to, but it just looks like the same kosher car, just with like bronze, gold striping, whatever it is. I don't really like this one. I'll give it a 4. And then the Chris Buescher one. This is not a throwback. They say it's a throwback, but it's not a throwback. We've seen this scheme like what, 2 years ago, something like
Yeah.
that, like 2019. I'm giving this one a 0 out of 10, and I'll give Roush an F for their throwback execution. I don't like it.
I have to agree with you, man. They're trash, bro. The new one is it's okay a little bit, I guess. I mean, did y'all know that Newman got a planner's scheme? I just seen
I
this.
did, but we'll review that maybe next episode.
Yeah, and of course,
I know
the
Christian is gonna like that.
Oh man, but the 17 one, you know what I'm saying, or the Buescher one, and we've seen before. So I have to give them like an overall grade of something like an F, like Mike said. Not good.
I when I looked at these, like the new one, it's all right. I was on it, but it just looks really bad still. 2 out of 10. I'm sorry. And then Chris Buescher, I mean, really, dude, like, not even in the scheme. Like, what? You falling down to Stenhouse's level here? Like, is it that bad? He's got a couple sponsors. I just realized that. Couple. Ooh. I also would like to say it really makes me mad that the U.S. flag but that's by Brian Newman's name is flipped around, like it's reversed. Really makes me mad for some reason. I don't know why, but it does.
I think it's just the render. I don't know.
Probably.
I see what you're saying, but I think it's just the render.
Mm-hmm.
Josiah?
Yeah, I agree. I think they didn't do a good job. I'll give them I'll agree with an F.
And then next up is RCRs. They didn't do that bad of a job. Austin Dillon's looks pretty nice. If I'm correct, what's this throwing back to? I think Dale Sr., right? Or Christian?
I was trying to take care of my computer was kind of glitching. But yeah,
What is the Austin Dillon throwback to?
You can't quite tell, to be honest with you. I've seen this before, but if I want to say it might be some from the 60s or 70s, but I may be wrong. And of course the Marty Robbins one, that one's a really good one as well. I mean, I think both the RCR ones are great. I think I have to give them A's. And of course the Marty Robbins 8 throwbacks, definitely, a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I've already rated the number 8, but the number 3 looks really clean, actually. I kind of like how it's shiny. I think it looks better that way. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I really like that. I don't know what I gave this, this package in total, but just in case, I give it an A+.
Yeah, I'd say these are actually pretty nice. I like the number designs on them. I like number designs like that. Yeah, these are actually 2 pretty nice throwbacks. I think I'll give them both a 7 out of 10 because just because that's what I think. But I think RCR gets a 7 out of 10 rating overall.
I like the 3-1 a lot. I think it does give off that throwback vibe, which I really like. I'll give the 3 around a 9. The 8, I'm not too crazy about the colors, but I don't mind that it looks like a throwback, so I'll still give it a 6. And next up, we got, if I can go up, we got. Sorry about that. Chris Wright's 02 Ron Hornaday throwback. They did a really good job with this one. I really like it. It's perfect except for the number. They even got the font right with the good right on there, which I really like. I'll give this one a 9.
Yeah, I mean, this one I've seen before. I saw when they announced and everything. I think it's really cool. You know what I'm saying? If I'm looking at the right one, the Good Wrench. I mean, I remember when this one was run back in the day, like back in the early 2000s, if I'm correct. I mean, I think it ran in the 90s too. I may be wrong, but I think it's really cool that they did that. And, I have to give that a rating of 9.5 out of 10.
Looking at the scheme, I actually really, really do like it. I kind of like how, even though it looks like the same, they still added their own aspect to it a little bit. Like it kind of made it look a little cleaner. Yeah, really good car actually. 10 out of 10. I like this.
Yeah, I actually really like this scheme. I like the kind of like gray and black Good Wrench scheme. And I also like that it's a throwback to, pretty sure it's Ron. Yeah, it's Ron Hornaday Jr. that it's a throwback to. I like truck drivers doing throwbacks to like older other truck drivers. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna agree with a 9.5 out of 10.
And then next up we got the 23 XI car. Bubba Wallace throwing it back to Wendell Scott. It's the second time that he's throwing it back to Wendell Scott.
Yeah.
With the first one being when Wendell got in the Hall of Fame in 2014. He actually won the truck race. But I really like this scheme. It's simple, but I really like the color and the orange with the root. I like that it does give me New York Knicks vibes. So I'll give this one an 8 and an overall grade for 23 XI of a B+.
I mean, it's decent. I've seen sort of the colors of that before. It's an okay one to me. It's not good or it's not bad. You know what I'm saying? I have to give 23 XI, rating like a rating of like probably a C+. To be honest with you, and to me, it just doesn't appeal as much. I'm just gonna have to give it probably like a 7 out of 10 rating.
I'm going to cut this really quick, and then we'll be right back with more thoughts. All right, guys, we're back. So, Cam, give us your thoughts on the Bubba Wallace scheme.
I like it. I mean, it's not bad. It's okay. I think that could be better. But then again, it's like a starter up. So, no worries. This is the first year of it. There's more to come. So, I can wait. I think it's okay, but it's bland, very bland to me, and I think it could do better, especially with all the people that are putting me up to that car. Could do way better.
Yeah, I think it's just an okay scheme, maybe a little below average for me, but yeah, I think even the shade of blue is a little off. So yeah, it definitely could be better, but yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
And then next up, we have, give me one quick second. We have the 47 of Kyle Weatherman throwing it back to Richard Petty here. This one is really cool. I like that they got the 47 font correct. And the Petty blue and the red, always nice to see. I'm going to give this one a 9.
I'm trying to pull it up real quick because I don't remember seeing this.
Well, while Savage is pulling it up, I can go over it.
Yeah,
looking at it, it's all right. The font is pretty good. I will say that. I like the font. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of the same color, blue and orange lately, with schemes. I don't know why, but I have. I will say though, I like it, but I do not support the brand that's on it. But when we come in looking to schemes, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I have to agree with your points. I like the color is kind of interesting. Definitely could tell the Richard Petty vibes in that. I mean, I have to agree with Charles' points. Probably going to give it a 7 out of 10, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this definitely is. It's a pretty nice scheme. It's kind of like a lot of other Petty throwbacks there's been, but not like there's much different. I don't know, but Yeah, I'd say it's pretty nice. I especially always like the petty font. That's always nice to see. But yeah, I think I'll agree with a 7 out of 10.
And I forgot to review one, the Myatt Snyder. This one, I don't really think this is really a throwback. It has a throwback 2 font, and I forgot to give RCR an overall grade as a team. I'll give them a B. What do you guys think of the Myatt Snyder scheme?
I mean, I have to agree. It's something I think I've seen before. It's kind of interesting to have a lot of the gray on the bottom of the car, especially going around the front of the nose to the side, but not all the way to the back of it. Taxslayer, they've been a sort of a new sponsor to NASCAR. I think they started sponsoring NASCAR back around 2015 or something like that. I may be wrong, but it's it's like an average one, so it's like a 6.5 out of 10. To be honest with you, if you watch a day race, if it's at night, then it's probably like a 6 because I think it look better actually during day than night.
I'm gonna give the Myatt Snyder one like a 3.
This
Sorry for not giving me a
this
rating.
car is ugly, dude. I'm sorry, but I think like my 2-year-old nephew could draw better than this thing.
Oh boy.
Like I don't know why it's so jagged. There's no point of it to be jagged. I guess it's like a design or whatever, but and I'm just gonna say it now. The number 2 font I really don't like. I've never liked it. It's just so like, oh, right. Like that font is nasty.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I lower the rating of it too because the number on the roof is different than the numbers on the sides as well. I'm gonna lower it to like a 4.
Well, unless like the number font the way it is, it's a 2 or a backwards
True.
S. Like it's awful. So I'm gonna give this like a 1 out of 10.
Oof.
Yeah, this is
How about
pretty
you,
bad.
Josiah?
I think I don't really like it. It's just ugly, just plain ugly. I'll give it I think this is the worst rating that I'm gonna give a scheme out of the time that I've been on the podcast. But I think I'll give it a 3 out of 10.
And then next up, we got BJ McLeod schemes. He has the number 90 for Xfinity. This one, I'm not sure what it's throwing back to, but I don't mind the color. I'll give it a 7. And then the Lift Fast one for Cup, I'm going to give this one, it's basically the same as Chase Briscoe's. I'm going to give this one I'll give this one a 6, like I gave the Chase Briscoe one. Overall, I'll give BJ McLeod a C overall grade.
This car, I wouldn't think it has to ever throw back to it. It kind of makes sense, of course, because there's not many 90 cars you throw back to. It's, if I'm correct, it's the throwback to Judy Donley's car from back in the 80s. If I'm correct, it's pretty interesting. I like this one a lot. I'm gonna have to give that one about like an 8.5. And then the one with the Live Fast, if I'm correct, is 78. Sort of like similar to Joe Weatherly, if I'm correct. It's a lot of red and it has like a lot of like black on top. It kind of reminds me of Kurt Busch's old 41 car from back around 2014 through like 2015 or 16. When he was with Stuart Haas. So this one, to give them an overall team or Live Fast one, I'd have to give, a team rating of some like a 8 or something like that. I think they're both pretty solid 8s in my opinion.
Yeah, like so. Looking at the first one, the 90, I really, really like this. I don't know why, but I really do like this, and like it's a plane, but it's like a classic plane. To the point where I'm like, you know what? I could tell this is a classic car, trying to go for old school. I like it. I'm going to give it like a 9.5. I really do like this. The other one, it's honestly, it's not the worst. It's not the best either, but I'll give it like a 6.5.
Yeah, this I do agree on this BJ McLeod scheme. It actually is. I do actually really like this scheme. It's actually really nice. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And then with the Joe Weatherly scheme, I think it does. I agree. It does look a lot like Chase Briscoe's throwback that he's done. So I'll give that. I think I'll just give it a 5 out of 10.
And then next up, we got JJ Yaley's Work Pro scheme. Throwing it back to Matt Kenseth when he drove this, I believe, at the Bristol night race when Tony Stewart threw his helmet at him.
Facts.
Why? What significance does this have? Like, with a lot of these throwbacks, they have some significance. What's this one?
I get why you would question that.
I'll give this one. It's a good scheme. Don't get me wrong. I just don't understand, like, what's it worth being thrown back to. But regardless, I'll give it a 7, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, as you mentioned, the paint scheme is really cool. And I mean, I would give it like a 9 out of 10. Now, with the significance thing, it's kind of questionable that you would throw back to this. Because they only ran it for a couple races. I think they ran it another race too. I forgot what one it was back in 2012. But if you're thinking about throwback, I'm surprised they wouldn't go to like a Darrell Waltrip or like a Matt Kenseth, the Walt car or something like that. But I mean, other than those things, I think it's at least an 8.75 out of 10.
I agree. I think honestly, just if this as a scheme, like in general, just a scheme, I just think it's kind of ugly. I don't know why I think it's the green, but yeah, I agree. This is just like a random throwback. I think like not really much to it. It's just like could have done something better, but I'll give it I'll give this one.
I like it. I mean, as a scheme, it's pretty good. I give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, it's nice. If anything, though, I think they'd make it better if they had it where the helmet hit. Yeah, they put like a logo, like an image of the helmet, and it like the car dented in, like it looks like dented in on the paint scheme. I feel like that'd make it so much better. I don't know why. I just think that'd be cool, but it's not, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do see Mike's point there on the significance part. I just doesn't make sense to me really. But hey, you know what? Maybe they just like the scheme and wanted to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you with the helmet dent thing. That would have been really cool. Next up, we got front rows schemes, starting out with the 34, Michael McDowell. I really like this scheme. It's about time someone throws it back to Bill Elliott. We've seen several times people throw it back to Rusty Wallace, but Bill Elliott deserves a throwback with his Coors Light cars. And this one did it perfectly. The font looks really good. I know it's not the official sponsor, obviously. They did a great job with the rims and even the old-timey tires. I'll give this one a 10.
I don't like it. Oh, sorry.
And the Anthony Alfredo one, it doesn't look as good. I mean, it looks all right, I guess. I'm not really sure what this one's a throwback to. I'll give this one a 6. Overall, I'll give front row a B.
I have to agree with you. I like the Bill Elliott throwbacks. And, with this one, the 34 one for McDowell, that's definitely a 9. And, the 38 car with Anthony Alfredo, really enjoyed that one as well. It's the Cal Yarborough throwback. That's a 9.5. So, with this team, I have to give them like an overall grade of like an 8.5 or a 9. I think they killed it.
Looking at these, I like them. The 34 is neat. I like the colors of it. I think it's like an 8 out of 10. And in the We Care one, I like that too because I think it's a classic. I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did a really good job. I especially like the Bill Elliott scheme. It just looks really nice, especially I really like the cursive writing that they did on the side, and then I really like to see some Bill Elliott throwbacks. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I'll give the Michael McDowell one a 9 out of 10. And I really like this one too. It's the We Care 38 Anthony Alfredo. I'll also give this one an 8 out of 10. And overall for the team, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. maybe like an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, so we're going to try and be a little quicker. DGR, Haley Deegan. This one is for Ford's first Le Mans win, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This looks really good. I'll give it an 8.
Getting tired. But yeah, I just yawned. The Haley Deegan one, try not to be biased by, Haley Deegan and all that. We kind of missed that, like previous episodes about the sipping and everything. But, all that aside, we're here to talk about paint schemes, not her. So, I think that it's pretty decent. It's kind of interesting that they're back to a Le Mans car, not a NASCAR. But, I have to give it like an 8 or 7.75.
Oh, I like it. I give it like a 7 out of 10. It's nice.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the Haley Deegan's throwback, right?
Correct.
Okay, but I actually think I remember talking about this before, but yeah, but I actually do really like this one, especially because I'm a big IMSA fan. So yeah, it's a throwback to the 1966. That's a pretty historic win. It's a pretty historic race too, but
Yeah.
I do really like this one. It's pretty cool to see, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
And then we got the Spencer Boyd Credit MRI. This one kind of reminds me of One Main Financial, and I like those schemes. I'll give this one an 8.
I have to go charge my phone. It's about to die. Just now noticed.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like it. I give it like 7.5 out of 10. It's okay. I think the colors could be better though. I just don't really like it how the blues faded like that. But anyways, Josiah.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. I like the colors. 7 out of 10.
Christian? Okay.
I was charging my phone. I had to go get a phone charger.
Okay. Next up, we got Jordan Anderson's. This one is very much a throwback, but it's kind of bland. I'll give this one a 5.
Hang on, my phone won't charge.
Cam?
Someone
looking
else.
at it,
I literally
at
can't. I can't see my.
it's different. I don't really like this. Giving it like a 3 out of 10. Oh God, disgusting.
Yeah, this one kind of is. I don't actually really like this. It's kind of weird. All the brown numbers is kind of weird, but I'll give this one a 3 out of 10.
Now, are we talking about the Jordan Anderson one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, I get where you're saying because of the different colors and all that, but this one I like. I like this one, in my opinion. I think it's pretty cool. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10.
Next up is GMS's. Zane Smith's. This looks better than when Matt DiBenedetto did it, in my opinion, because the old car did not have sponsorship, and this one doesn't have sponsorship, unfortunately. But I think it looks really good. I'll give this one a 9. The Tyler Ankrum 26. This looks really, really good. I've been waiting for like a Talladega Nights throwback for a while, and they just executed it perfectly. I'll give this one a 10. And then Sheldon Creed's is also a 10. I really like the colors, and they did perfect with the logos. And overall, GMS deserves an A.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, man. These hit pretty much same range that I would give if I went first. But I think that they're really cool, man. Like that they're doing better than some of these other ones, the other teams that are well known and have more like financial things. I don't know what teams have the most money and all that. That's not really the point. But these truck schemes really hit. I really enjoyed them, especially 21 though too, because I mean that was a common scheme from back even in the 70s, if I'm correct. So definitely, eights. I mean, definitely like nines, I should say, for sure.
It's all right. It's not bad. I like the colors of it. I give it like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I really like the Ricky Bobby throwback. That's a really cool one. That's probably my favorite one out of these. And I also really like the 21, especially that. I just really like that font. So I'll give the Ricky Bobby 26. I'll give that one a 9 out of 10. And yeah, overall, I'll just give them a 9 out of 10.
My apologies. I didn't see the Ricky Bobby one. I just now saw it. I like it. Yeah, I gave like a 9 out of 10.
And then next up we have Spires. The 7 one is absolutely perfect. This is the best throwback this year. Same sponsor, same shop if you guys didn't know, same number, and even the same fire suit for a little bit. I'm going to give this one a 10. And then for Justin Haley's, this one is literally Ryan Blaney's one from last year, which is really a turnoff and lowers their grade a little bit from an A plus to an A.
Yeah, Spires were pretty decent this year, compared to last, in my opinion. If I'm correct, the 77, that was a really colorful one. If I'm correct, Robert Presley drove that car. It's not as bright as the original one, so it has to lower my rating down for that one to like a 7. And the Alan Kawicki, the old Alan Kawicki 7 car before the Hooters car, the one from 1988 or 1988 7 car. I really like that scheme. I'm glad they did that for them. That's definitely a 10 for sure.
I like it. I already rated the 77, I believe. So I'm just going on to the 7. Very clean. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I really actually the 7 is actually a really cool. I just like how they have the same like sponsor and of course like you said the same garage is really cool. And then throwback to Alan Kawicki. This is just I think I'll have to give this one a 10 out of 10. And then for the Justin Haley, I think it's pretty nice. I'll give that one a 7 out of 10. And then overall I'll give.
Okay, you cut out there, but we got to move on. Next up is Chip Ganassi. Ross Chastain was the only one who got a scheme. This one is from 1993's McDonald's. It's very simple. I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, I mean, this McDonald's one, we've seen a lot of McDonald's schemes, and some of them, if they went farther back, like a Jimmy Spencer McDonald's or 94 Bill Elliott McDonald's, I mean, I get what you're saying there with that 4, but I'm gonna have to give it a 6.5.
Oh, yeah, I like it. I like a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.
And then next up is hold on one second. Okay, next up, I'm freaking up right now. Next up is Ryan Vargas's. I really like this one. I'm going to give this one a 10. It's a throwback to Mark Martin.
Mark Martin throwbacks are really cool, and this is pretty lit. So I have to give this one like an 8.5.
Yeah, I like it. Maybe honestly, no, it's a little bit of a stretch, maybe, but 9.5 out of 10. I like it.
Yeah, this one is pretty cool. 8 out of 10.
Next up, we got the Nice cars, actually. For Carson Hoskevars, I'm not sure exactly what that's going back to, but I don't mind it. But I don't like the white front ends, so I'll give Carson's a 7. Ryan Truex, excuse me. I'm gonna give this one a 8, and I'll give Nice an overall grade of a B.
I do not. I can't really find these actually. It's kind of hard to
Hold on, I'm
find
sending them to you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Cam.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm just gonna give it like a quick rating, real quick. I give the first one 7 out of 10, and the other one I give it like I like it like 8 out of 10. I like it actually.
Man, that 41's definitely a really, really old throwback. I did not think that they would definitely throw back to that. It's been a while since I've seen that scheme for sure. That one's like a 7 or a 6.5, and the 42 one reminds me of a lot of Johnny Benson's 10 cards, so I have to give that one like a 9.
Yeah, this 41 is actually pretty cool. So I'll give it a 7. And then this one is kind of, I do like this one, but yeah, I think I'll just give this one a 7 out of 10 also.
And then we got Brandon Browns. I really like this one. Dale Jarrett throwback. I'm giving this one a 10. Jeremy Clemens also had a Dale Jarrett throwback. I'll give that one a 10 as well.
Dale Jarrett throwbacks are really cool to see, and I really enjoy these. So they're both solid 8.5s.
Yeah, I gotta go with Savage here. Both are solid 8.5s. Can never go wrong with the Del Jarrett scheme.
Yeah, I think these are pretty cool. I like the Dale Jarrett throwbacks. I think I'll agree on the 8s.
And then we got Quinn Half, Starcom. I'm not really sure what this is throwing back to. I'll give it a 6.
Yeah, this one. I mean, I remember this car because I remember, if I'm correct, this is the car John Andretti drove the 98 of when he won Pepsi 400 one year. So I like this one though. I have to give this one like a 9.
It's okay. I give it like, a 6.5 out of 10.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I think this definitely is a nice one. I like it, especially John Andretti throwback. I'll give it an 8.
And then next up we have the number 15 James Davison Hope Givers throwback. I'm not really sure exactly what this is throwing back to. I'll give this one like a 3. It's too simple for me.
Yeah, this one's not that good at all. It's like a 3.5 or a 3, like Mike said. It's
Yeah, no, disgusting. I'm gonna go with Mike too on this. He actually has it pretty good. 3 out of 10. Just now.
It's trash.
Next up, we got the Rackley Roofing for Timothy Peters. This one kind of gives me Irwin Tools vibes. I'm gonna give it a 5.
I'm not sure if I'm looking at the right one here. I'm like Peter. But it's okay. You know, we've seen a lot of. I mean, he kind of looks a little bit similar to a planner scheme too that we reviewed here on the show. It looks pretty cool at night, I would say, compared to day. That's definitely like a 7.5.
It's all right. Kind of reminds me of Chase Elliott. I give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
And then next up, oh, sorry, Josiah.
Well, Josiah.
Oh, okay. We're talking about the Timothy Peters one, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, this is a pretty nice one. I like the yellow and blue coloring. I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
And then we got Kenny Wallace throwback from Alex LeBay, Red Dog. This is too simple for me, but I don't mind it. I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, Kenny Wallace throwback, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's interesting because I didn't think that they would try this. I mean, it's kind of weird though, because it kind of looks very similar to a car that was once sponsored with Kim Kardashian. It was like an 036 car. I might be able to send Mike that clip. But yeah, this one's just kind of awkward in a way too. Kind of shows like it looks like something you'd honestly like. Part of the front character kind of looks similar to like The Incredibles, but other than that, that one's like a 3 to be honest.
It's all right, I guess. I mean, 4 out of 10.
Yeah, this one I don't
then
really have much to say about this. There's just kind of not much to say, but I'll give it a 4.
And then we got Spencer Davis's Inox throwback. This one looks pretty interesting. Very simple. I'll give it a 6.
Spencer Davis. This 11 car, I remember seeing a picture of this before. It has a lot of the stripes and everything. I think it's pretty cool though. I have to give that like an 8.5.
I really don't like this. I'm not gonna give it what I could, but I'll just 2 out of 10. I could go worse, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I like this one. Just all the colors look nice to me. I'll give this one a 7 out of 10.
And then our final 2 schemes are Michael Waltrip throwbacks. The first one is, I believe, I'm not sure which year it is, but I know what scheme it's talking about. This one looks like Nathan's Hot Dogs. I'll give this one a 3. And the second one is Derek Krause's Michael Waltrip throwback for when he won the Daytona 500, I believe. And I really like the significance of this one. So I'm going to give that one a 7. And overall, Michael Waltrip throwback grades well, B.
I really like these last 2 for sure. The 31, I've been waiting for them to throw back to that. And it's a card a lot of people don't, remember around. It was around like the 90s or late 80s, if I'm correct, when this scheme was made. And I have to give the 31 definitely like a 9.5. And then for the Derek Krause one, that's definitely a hit as well. That one's like a solid 8.5.
Looking at these, the 30, 9 out of 10. I really like it. 19, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually do really like both of these, the Michael Waltrip throwbacks, but I think both of them deserve a good 8 out of 10.
And I'm going to turn off this meeting real quick and go into the top 10. Be right back. All right, guys. So we got the top 10 now. Kicking it off. This is top 10 Dover moments. Kicking it off, number 10, Noah Gragson wrecks while battling for the win. So in the
Here's right rear corner. He's going to get there.
Outside is there. Oh, still there. Clear.
Sauter may have clipped the wall.
Noah Gragson put the block on Johnny Sauter. It forced Sauter to come off the gas. That may be a race-winning save right there by Noah Gragson, but if Johnny's a little bit motivated right now.
Yeah, and I would say after watching turn 3 and 4, it's not going to save him the race. Johnny's just faster. He's going to be able to get back to Gragson, but getting there and passing him's proven to be 2 different things.
Is he going to have enough time as they go into turn 3? This time they cross the line. There will be 3 laps to go.
Look at the run.
On the very bottom, they'll be gone.
Might Noah have to swing up and run the high lane because Johnny's so fast up there?
Sauter looks underneath this time. He's right there on the back bumper of Gragson.
Oh, and he's pushing him.
Sauter up top.
Trying to get outside.
Coming through turn 4.
Outside, he's there. Outside on.
2 laps left. A little contact into 1.
Still there.
Rubbing. Side by side down the back stretch, going to turn 3. Oh! Contacted Gragson into the wall hard.
You're right. You're right, Noah. Sorry. Okay, hey, catch your breath. No rush. Catch your breath. It's okay.
That's not the physical pain from the accident. That's the emotional pain from the accident.
That's just leaving it all on the playing field. He had tried to hold off Johnny Sauter a couple times, then just tried to bump him a little bit getting down into turn 3, and it just turned his truck around.
Yeah, when he pulled back off him, he just lost grip in the rear. What an amazing veteran job Johnny Sauter did once he lost that lead on the restart.
So Rudy Fugle has been so close here at Dover. He won with Kyle Busch in 2014, but has come up empty a couple of times since when they've had race-winning trucks, and he's not going to get the victory as crew chief tonight either, as Noah Gragson climbs out. Boy, they made contact multiple times. Watch this one.
This is Gragson just not acknowledging that Johnny got to the outside. He said, I'm taking this exit, and Johnny ran into the wall trying to make the pass, and then right there, just too aggressive, too high, getting in the corner. Johnny tried to turn in, and Noah was just out of shape. He's out of position.
For Noah Gragson, who's going to win it?
2018 truck race, Noah Gragson and Johnny Sauter were battling for the win, beating and banging on each other. Johnny got a run on Noah's outside, and Noah started to door slam him, causing Gragson to get loose and spin out and hit the wall hard. Sauter went on to win the race.
Yeah, very oof moment there for Gragson. Moving on to number 9. I had to put Jimmy Johnson at this number, and you will see him in some other numbers on this list, because he's the king at Dover. You know what I'm saying? He won there 11 times. So his rookie season, he swept the races at Dover, which was in 2002, and he also swept the races there in 2009. It's crazy because in the 2009 race, the spring race, he led 298 of 400 laps, and then in the fall race, he led 271. So a lot of the Dover races he won at, he basically dominated, leading over half the race. So moving on to number 8.
Coming in at number 8, we have, well, I gotta find it again because I just lost it, of course. Classic Cam. Okay, here we go. Coming in at number 8, we have Joey Logano and Carlo Edwards battle for the win, which then leads to a huge crash.
Logano with a half a car length on him. Now here comes Carl back on the low side. Carl slips a little.
Come on, he's sideways.
Now it gets Logano. Joey's into the bar, and the car's upside down. On his side is Clint.
Yellow's out, yellow is out, yellow is out.
Wallace gets into it. The 14 of Bliss gets into it. Red flag immediately.
Stop on the back. They want you to stop on the back.
They are stopping everyone on the
He got
back
loose
stretch.
or something. I just in the throttle. He got loose. I touched him, guys.
See, Carl got loose right there.
So did Joey.
Joey's
got
out.
loose.
Yeah, Carl never touched him right there. No, he never did.
Wow.
He thinks he did, but he didn't.
Yeah, no, he never touched him.
So when they see the video, but look what happens behind. Eric Almirola does not escape this one this time in the 88.
Yeah, so many good
Mike
cars
Bliss
involved
Bliss,
there.
Yeah,
had a great run all day.
watch this
firsthand, but when you wreck that close on a restart, the whole field just drives through it, and I think the 18 drove through and back of me like it did last week again this week. So just one of them deals.
Okay, so yeah, coming in at number 7 is the 2007 Autism Speaks 400 at Dover. So yeah, this is actually the.
I got to tell you, that little car has been amazing today. That thing has stuck to the bottom all day long. You don't get a chance to do what he's done today very many times.
Some friends of ours have a suite up on the 10th floor of the hotel every race here. Kevin Mannion went by the suite the other day, told Gary Nye, we are the car to beat. And was without any sense of bravado. It was a simple statement of fact.
White flag. 1 mile to go.
Hi, man, just going to make it back no matter what.
There you go.
Killer lap time.
How many laps has he led today, Mike?
215, Daryl.
215.
on a day on which NASCAR loses Bill France Jr., another junior. Martin Truex Jr. is going to win his first Nextel Cup race. Truex wins the Autism Speaks 400.
The 7th different winner in 7 races here at Dover.
Yeah! Whoa! Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Holy mackerel. Wow.
How fitting. Holy mackerel.
Perfect. What a car. Thank you, guys.
The family's in the seafood business.
Yes, they are.
Race where Martin Truex Jr. won his first career race. So yeah, that was pretty cool. He led 216 out of 400 laps. But yeah, this is, because his first win, but this was also the 7th winner in 7 races that season. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And also this was the race after Bill France Jr. died. So rip.
Yeah, that race is definitely memorable. I mean, for good and bad reasons. There was also a little bit of an altercation between Tony Stewart and Kurt Busch. They kept being and banging on each other.
Last Monday during the race at Dover, 2 former champions got together and the fallout has been big. 3rd time this season, Kurt Busch and Tony Stewart have tangled on the track. This one took both of them out of contention. That's on the track, but it's what happened after the crash that has been the topic of conversation throughout the garage. Stewart already in his stall on pit road when Busch pulled up alongside. That's Jason Lee of the Home Depot crew who had to scramble out of the way. Friday, NASCAR lowered the boom on Busch, docking him 100 driver points, 100 owner points, plus a $100,000 fine. The points dropped Busch from 11th to 17th in the standings. Today, Kurt Busch starts 27th, and Marty Snyder is with him.
And Bill, this has certainly been the big topic this week here at Pocono. First of all, Kurt, your reaction to the fine, was it fair? And did you think you'd be sitting at home this weekend?
Well, I regret my actions and what happened on Monday's race. And, the incident was out on the track, not on pit road. And so I didn't mean to jeopardize anybody's safety. And that's something that I've talked to J.D. Gibbs and Coach Gibbs about, as well as Jason Lee, that crew guy. So, the points and the money, it's what it is. We just need to work hard and gain some points back this week. And we've got the next 20-some-odd races to gain those points.
What's been the reaction from the peers in the garage area? We're going to let you go be introduced. How about that?
We need to go do that? All right.
Yeah, you need to go do that. We'll catch you on the other side. How's that sound, okay? Kurt Busch has to go be introduced because he's up next. Now let's go to Matt Yoakum, who's with Tony Stewart.
Marty, owner Richard Petty has a long-standing rule against drivers racing against his teams. He goes, I don't mind if you beat up on each other, just don't beat up on my equipment. But what happened on pit road was into a whole different chapter when you throw a crew member involved. And talking things over your buddy Casey Kane, but Smoke, looking to what happened last week, did the penalty fit the crime in the Busch incident?
I don't know. I mean, Kurt's a good guy. I mean, he's been catching a bunch of crap this week, and it's heat of the moment, and it still doesn't mean it was a good deal by any means. It still was a bad deal, but that's what makes him such a personality in this sport. Me too. I mean, I've done things worse than what he's done, so it's we all get through it, and we're back racing this week, and I'm glad he's still here. I mean, I know there were people that wanted him to be parked for a week, but I think this week caught his attention a little bit, and like I said, I just maybe he got the picture that he's racing guys a little harder at wrong times of the race, and maybe this week gave him some time to think about it.
It's behind a little bit, but we've got all day to work on it, and Roger's always got that pit strategy up his sleeve.
That's absolutely right. In his last 3 races at Pocono, Bill, he has a win and 2 second-place finishes. That's pretty good, isn't it?
It was also, one of the first races that NASCAR had the car tomorrow with the giant, they had the giant back wing. And another thing to add on to number 8, man, that was a really hard battle there. Logano got loose, hit the wall, and then he got clobbered by Clint Boyer, and then the lot of other cars just piled in. And actually, one of Clint Boyer's pit crew members got hurt because one of the springs off of one of the cars ended up hitting him in the leg. But moving on to number 6, we got Jimmy Johnson pulling off Rowdy Kyle Busch in 2005. Roll the clip.
And here we go. Good restart by the 5. Jimmy said, come on, teammate, cut me some slack.
Through turns 3 and 4 now. Kyle Busch, the rookie, looking at Johnson, the championship contender. Teammates coming to the checkers. Jimmy Johnson wins at Dover. Jimmy Johnson looking for the checkered flag.
So in this race, is the 2005 MBNA. I'm correct. It was MBNA. It's kind of hard to say. I wanted to say NBA, but that's not how it's spelled. So in this race, it was a very crucial race for Jimmy because it was a chase. Jimmy Johnson needed this win to be able to get back into the championship hunt, which he ended up taking this win. And it was a very close race. There was about 15 lead changes, but the action was pretty intense. And I went back and watched this race a couple of days ago, and it was very entertaining. He held him off by 0.08 seconds. It was, if I'm correct, the closest finish in the Cup Series at Dover, and Jimmy Johnson ended up leading 134 laps. So I thought that definitely deserved that spot.
In at number 5 is Matt Kenseth running out of gas, giving Jeff Burton the win. So Matt was running in second when he ran out of fuel in the closing laps for the second time that season, believe it or not. He then lost the points lead after the mishap happened. There's not really that much of a clip besides a fan video of fans cheering and Jeff Burton winning the race. And moving on to number 4.
Coming in at number 4, we have Joey Logano's flip at Dover.
Top 4. A really good chance to see here how 2 tires do work. Casey Kane gets a terrible start there.
And Kurt Busch trying to move to the inside and take that spot away and take the lead away from Newman, but Newman will have nothing of it.
Oh, got trouble getting into 3, guys. Joey Logano. Big crash. Oh, he's all tagged down.
Over and over, Logano goes between 3 and 4.
No.
The car will come back to rest on all 4 tires. Heavy crash here on lap 32.
See Robbie Gordon, Martin Truex, Reed Sorensen involved in this. I looked up, saw the 20 car on the apron getting into the corner. See the crew here, they're trying to see the replay.
Now the window net is down. That's the drivers are told in the drivers meeting that if you are awake and alert, put that window net down so we know, the safety crews will know. There's the window net down on Robbie Gordon's car. This is the moment we talked about in the pre-race show, guys, that this stuff could happen in a hurry here, even at Dover.
And especially after, on a restart when all the cars are bunched together. It's good to see here that the window net came down on that 20 car. We're a little obscured from how that car got so low on the back straightaway. Andy, I saw it, just could barely see the roof of the car. Yeah, I looked up and he was way down on the apron, actually entering the corner, way before the entry.
There's a great sign right there. Joey Logano coming out of the car.
That's a scary looking crash right there.
Young man had so much success at this racetrack, really got his name out there when he won a Camping World East race here for NASCAR, won a championship here, made his first nationwide start earlier in the year, becoming the youngest winner in NASCAR Sprint Cup history. There's Robbie Gordon out of his car. We'll get a wrecker to take it back to the garage area.
The cars have been stopped on the back straightaway because of the amount of debris. They didn't want them running through this. See heavy damage on Martin Truex's car.
Let's show you how this all unfolded here on the restart.
This was in 2009. Roll the clip. He in fact flipped 7 times. I don't know what it feels like flipping in a car, but you can just imagine going at the speed of rate he was going, flipping 7 times is just insane.
Yeah,
number.
Yeah, that wreck there, man. Like, I remember watching that. I was just so surprised. I mean, he ended up getting hit by Tony Stewart, who had driven the 20 car the previous season. But he got hit. He came back up across the track. He just got power drove. And I remember a lot of people were surprised about that because you don't really see people flip a Dover. There's only been a couple of times where that's happened. Another thing to add on to number 5, another reason why I put down there is Jeff Burton. He had gone at least a couple of years, if I'm correct, without winning a race. So it ended a very long winless streak. So moving on to number 3, I have Neil Bonnet and Cale Yarborough both blowing their engines and giving Jody Ridley his first career win. Roll the tape.
Bad, you did bad, and you don't blame it on me, blame it on him. It's just the way it was, and you know, he just enjoyed being at the racetrack, and it was a pleasure going to every race with him.
Coming to Dover in 1981, all eyes were on the stars of the day, including Richard Petty, Darrell Waltrip, Cale Yarborough, and Neil Bonnet.
Realistically, we were looking at maybe a top 5 if we were good that day. That's the best you were going to do unless they had some kind of problem, something like that, because, we're underfunded and stuff like that. And at the time, there were about 5 teams, 5, 6 going to win all the races.
Barely missing an early spin by Ron Bouchard, Ridley ran consistently in the top 5 behind the dominant mounts of Bonnet and Yarborough.
Now he's out slow again into turn 1. Yarborough comes up in the groove, and Neil Bonnet has to settle for second spot.
But survival would be the name of the game on this day at Dover. With several favorites falling from contention early, and not even the race-long dominators would be immune from the bad luck monster.
And trouble on car number 21. Neil Bonnet has slowed and headed into the pit area, an unscheduled pit stop. Yarborough has hand-grenaded an engine within sight of the checkered flag.
We were running up in the top 5 all day, and our stuff was pretty reliable for the way we were running this stuff at the time, and wasn't any concern really. We never really broke down. I think that particular year we ran 31 races with 1 race car, so we had the whole season.
There's no traffic around him. Here he comes, off of the 4th turn, onto the main straightaway. The crowd applauds, and Jody Ridley wins.
This has to make it more rewarding, Dan, to be in victory circle, beating the high-buck finance teams out here.
Yeah, we've been trying for a long time to do that. The boys are just as good as anybody on pit road, and even though they don't do it for a living, they are good.
Well, this shows that you keep trying, and never give up, and always give it your best every time you go. Even though going in, you're probably going to be 5th, 6th, somewhere on that, but don't ever give up.
After
back today, not 400. So these races lasted really long, like 4 hours, 5 hours, and there was a lot of engine problems in this race. A lot of cars dropped out with mechanical failures. There is one big wreck around the halfway point with Darrell Waltrip on the backstretch. And, there was 40,000 people in attendance. It was a standard, Dover race. A lot of cars were not on the lead lap at the end. And it was crazy because Neil Bonnet was about to get the win. He was, in fact, 2 laps ahead of the rest of the field when he blew his engine. And he ended up giving Cale Yarborough the lead. And then a couple laps later, Cale Yarborough blew an engine. So Jody Ridley, who had never won a race before, ended up in the lead, and he led the last couple of laps. It was his first. And I don't know if it's his own first career win. And another interesting fact, Dale Earnhardt finished 3rd in this race.
Okay, so man, at number 2 is the 2017, the Dover race, the AAA Drive for Autism 400.
Larson did not get the start that he wanted. He's going to have to work hard to get the outside of Jimmy Johnson here. Oh,
McMurray 3 wide.
Wow, he's sideways on the wreck.
No, the 13 just got crashed.
That'll be it.
Big wreck going into 3. I mean, look at him. They're wrecking everywhere.
I think they made it to the overtime line.
Now NASCAR will have to look at video to determine whether the leader was at the overtime line or not before the caution.
So many good cars. We're having great days here, all wadded up in the 3rd turn.
And Jimmy Johnson will tie Cale Yarborough on Stock Car Racing's all-time win list. Johnson wins his 11th at Dover.
He's got a lot of fans here in Dover because they're all cheering for that.
And the rule is if the leader gets to the overtime line, which is right at the R in Dover, on the back straightaway, directly opposite the start finish there, he's past there, and we're still green. That's the race. The next flag, yellow or checker, ends the race.
Yeah, and that wreck was happening, but the caution really didn't come out until they were in turn 3. Watch Ty Dillon. He gets loose, then a little bit of contact between he and his teammate Ryan Newman.
Hard contact, 77 and a 13 there.
And then it's on.
Yep, then he gets into the one, is that McMurray down there?
Allmendinger, Payne. Jimmy Johnson.
Where is he?
He's in that big haze. Jimmy taking the checkered flag is today's Sunoco fueling victory.
And out in victory lane for the celebration, Rick Hendrick there, and Jimmy Johnson conquers Delaware once again.
Growing up, his hero was Cale Yarborough. He loved the Hardee's 28 paint scheme. He even went to a Hardee's one time hoping to see the car in person. He started the day wearing a special helmet with Cale on it. Jimmy, not very often an athlete grows up trying to chase his childhood hero. Today, you matched Hall of Famer Cale Yarborough. How impactful for you, the feeling of this win?
Yeah, that's such a great way to say it. I mean, I never thought I would end up here in NASCAR as a kid racing in the dirt out in Southern California. And you know, I was a big Cale Yarborough fan, and I remember going to a race in Oklahoma with my parents and my brother. We're driving across the country, and we pull up to a Hardee's. Had no idea it was a burger stand, and I really thought when I walked in the doors I was going to Cale Yarborough's race shop. And was so, very disappointed, had a burger and left, and then understood the world of sponsorship. So to be here to tie him at 83 wins, we just got the tribute helmet. I wasn't sure how quickly we'd be, or if we'd be able to go there and get it done. But Cale, you're the man. Thank you for all you've done for our sport. And then to be a part of one team, one sponsor, Lowe's, Chevrolet, Valvoline, Gatorade, support of the fans. This is an amazing day. And I do have one artifact that we found from my friend Lauren Rainier, one of Cale's old hats.
So many parallels between Jimmy and Cale. Humble beginnings, championship winning drivers.
You can roll the clip. Okay, but yeah, this is a special one. Jimmy, who started last, in this race, he actually won under caution, beating out Kyle Larson to win his 83rd career win and his 11th at Dover. You know, just dominant at Dover. But yeah, this was really special because he tied Cale Yarborough, because you know him and Cale are the only two drivers to win 3 straight. Of course, Jimmy would go on to win 5 straight, but
yeah,
and this was his final career win. So yeah, you know, at the time, nobody knew that this would be his final career win, because you know some people were thinking he could catch Jeff Gordon or you know even David Pearson. So that wasn't too out of the ball game. But yeah, overall for the race, this is actually a pretty good race. You know, you saw a lot of upfront battle with Larson and Truex Jr., who actually battled up front for a lot of the race. You know, at least from when I watched the highlights.
Okay, I know that we were going to try and speed this up a little bit, but I just want to say something. I was actually at that race, and everybody was chanting BS in my section because people didn't think that Jimmy deserved to win that, and everyone thought that Larson deserved to win it because of what happened at the end during overtime with the whole overtime rule crap, and that they said that Jimmy passed him as soon as the caution light started, but we'll never truly know. But at least I can say I was a part of history.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a very controversial moment there with Larson. I remember that. I remember a lot of people make a big deal about that.
I mean, to be fair, kind of was a little evident, but you know, we don't talk about that. It's all right. Jimmy's last win, I'm happy for him, but definitely it's all right. I still love Jimmy. We all love Jimmy. I mean, let's just be honest. If we knew it was his last race that he was going to win, we all would have just kept our mouths quiet.
Yeah, goat.
7 times.
Not
But
somebody
yeah, I
who-
mean, I've been watching that race too. And I mean, I feel like this definitely deserved a number 2 spot. I mean, not just because of the finish or because he won, but because of how, it meant, as well. He also tied Kelly Yarborough on the all-time wins list. It was his 11th Dover win. So, served number 2 spot.
Overall great win.
Yeah. So now we've finally reached the number 1 spot on the list, and this one was Dale Earnhardt Jr. winning the first NASCAR race back from the 9/11 attacks that happened that year in 2001. So roll the clip.
Perhaps there is no more appropriate place for the return of NASCAR Winston Cup racing than the state of Delaware, one of the original 13 states. Its nickname, the First State. The state motto, liberty and independence. Today, in the shadow of the neighboring Dover Air Force Base, the Winston Cup Series is back. And so are the fans, a patriotic group that has gathered for the enthusiasm and excitement of racing, and for the opportunity to show their support for this nation, our leaders, and thank the heroes that have brought forth the light of hope from America's darkest day. This is a sport that long...
Earnhardt Jr., Nadu, Rudd, Gordon, Stewart. Dale Jarrett's back in 14th with a fresh set of tires.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. just driven away from Jerry Nadu.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to lead 193 of 400 laps. The American and checkered flags out at Dover. Earnhardt Jr. wins.
Tony Sr., heck of a job.
Did you say Junior get loose coming off 4th with the checkered flag? Wow.
Come in, buddy. Go get him.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has arrived here with his co-driver Wilson, and now a very patriotic salute from the winner of the MBNA, Cal Ripken Jr., 400. And you might be able to guess what the beverage of choice is in Victory Lane. Wilson getting a lot of credit for an outstanding run, and we knew that was coming.
Good to be back in the race car, and I'm glad I could be the guy to win the race so I could carry the American flag around there, and that made me feel good.
So in this race, a lot of people were still sad, and of course, it was shocking what happened with 9/11. It was NASCAR pushed back some races after 9/11, and the first race back was at Dover. There, if I'm correct, Dale Jarrett was on the pole for that race. Dale Earnhardt Jr., fan favorite, he led the most laps with 191 of 400. There was multiple wrecks in this race as well, a couple collisions and pileups, but that's standard Dover. I'm saying it's the monster mile. What do you expect? But anyways, Dale Earnhardt Jr. he led a lot of the second half of the race, and a caution came out late, and people are like, "Oh man, Junior's gonna get robbed of the win because this late caution." If I'm correct, it was because of Ricky Rudd spinning. But anyways, Dale Earnhardt, he ended up having to battle with Jerry Nadu in the final laps, and Jerry Nadu was trying to get his first win, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. ended up holding on, and he captured the win. It was an emotional win, and one of the most memorable races in NASCAR history. He went around the track with the American flag out the window. He did a Polish victory lap with that. And, I feel like that definitely deserved the number 1 spot on the list.
Yeah, definitely. There's no denying that. But now let's get into our race picks to close out the episode. Starting out, it's only Xfinity and Cup this weekend. Starting out with the Xfinity, I'm going to pick Harrison Burton.
That's not a bad pick at all, for sure, because I was thinking about doing that as well, but I'm not going to do that. With Noah Gragson, I picked him a couple times this year to win, and every time it hasn't worked, but he started third on Saturday, and it's timely that he needs to get back in victory lane. And for me, I'm actually going to pick him. I was thinking about picking Justin Allgaier to go to back, but I'm going to go Gregson. He's won here before. He's had a couple chances where he's came close to winning here, even Xfinity, but came short. So even with the appeal that happened today, I think that Noah's going to have a rebound race and win this thing.
I think that Justin Allgaier is going to pull up and take that dub easily. I think that when he gets on a roll, man, he just keeps going. So I think that he's going to get a back-to-back here.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier definitely is. Seems like he's pretty good at Dover. But my pick is Noah Gragson. I agree with Christian. I think he gets the redemption win after like last week.
And then finally for the Cup race, I was originally going to go with Denny Hamlin, but I heard that Martin Truex has the best odds to win. And I know that gambling odds aren't really the best factor in deciding who you're going to pick for, especially with this new era with no practice and qualifying. But I think I'm going to do Martin Truex just because I'm not really exactly sure who to pick, and I don't want to pick Denny Hamlin 2 weeks in a row. So I'll go MTJ.
Man, oh man. Well, I really don't want to see that, Mike. I don't want to see Truex win. I really don't.
Hey, man, I don't want to see that either, but, I got to be unbiased here, I guess.
Does anybody here want to see that?
What's with all these Joe Gibbs drivers getting all these great starting spots? That's my question. But, William Byron, I think starting third is great for him. I don't know if he'll get the win. It'd be pretty close to Blaney winning because he's starting seventh, if I'm correct. That's the best starting position he's had this season. Kevin Harvick's obviously a contender. I really want to see Kevin Harvick win as well, but I don't know about that. There's a couple also contenders that are usually up front. They're starting in the back like Kurt Busch. But for me, I'm actually going to pick Kyle Larson to win this race. He's done pretty well at Dover in the past, and if I'm correct, he's won a couple of times there. And I think Kyle Larson's going to get
won.
Sorry?
I was just saying in 2019 he won at Dover.
It's my pick.
I'm going with Truex too. He's just I hate to say it, but Truex can drive. All right. Now, it hurts me to say that, like very much, but I do think that Truex is going to get the dub here. I'm going with Mike. I guess we're Team Truex, so that's fun. I think we don't want to KMS.
And with that will conclude this week's episode.
Wait,
Thank you guys.
Actually, I didn't do my pick.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I was actually gonna pick Kyle Larson. I was thinking about his 2019 win, and yeah, he's coming off of a second place run at Darlington. So yeah, I say Kyle Larson gets it done.
Nice. So we got two of us Larson, two of us Truex. So this is gonna be interesting to see who gets this.
Last time that this happened, none of us got it right. So, anyways, with that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. We're halfway to our first big milestone of 100 subscribers. So please, if you're watching this and you watched it all the way through, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. I know these episodes are really long, but thank you. Thank you very much. Please share our channel if you really like it. Comment, like, and subscribe. Join our fantasy league. Join our Discord server. Follow us on Instagram. And we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.